Today I'm joined by a man who more than played his part in successes that Morton had this season, and he is the club captain, Jim McAlister. Jim, how are you?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Very well indeed, but then again, I've not just become a father for the third time.
You can tell by these black bags under my eyes, it's taking its toll, so it is.
How are you coping?
Yeah, all good, all good. We got the wee man home after a few days in hospital, so he's come home and settled in well. The two big sisters have been here as well.
A bit of a relief for you to have another male in the house, I'd imagine.
I was starting to get outnumbered quite drastically in the house, so it's good to have a wee boy. Listen, everyone said that, all along, you'd be desperate for a wee boy after having two girls, but to be honest, I wasn't really fussed. As long as you get a baby home fit and healthy, that's all that matters. But obviously a wee boy into the bargain's nice.
Before we get into this, I've got to say, is the bedroom, which you're clearly in, the only place you can get a bit of peace and quiet?
Yes, absolutely. This has become my man cave to get 10-15 minutes peace.
Well, let's crack on then before the kids disturb you. Let's go back to the start of the season. Obviously, a new manager coming in, Jim. I always feel the relationship between a manager and his captain is absolutely crucial to the success of a club. How did you find working with David?
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. From the first meeting we had in the summer, before most of the boys had re-signed. The gaffer had outlined what he wanted going forward for the club. It was going to be a transitional period for the club, so a wee bit of patience was going to be required as well initially. But then once we got to work on the training ground and different things, and he started to get his points across, it was thoroughly enjoyable. Yep.
I mean, obviously, that blend of experience and youth is what David has looked for, and you must be very, very important to that in terms of your presence amongst the younger players.
Yeah, I'm always of the opinion of, if you can help any of them out, if they've, you always say if you get any questions, don't hesitate to come and ask. And you're right in what you say. It's important within the squad now that you do have that mix. Obviously, there was other senior ones, obviously Midge and Big Brian McLean, Bob McHugh as well, and obviously Chris Doolan came in towards the end of January as well. It's important to have the older heads about, and it keeps the younger ones on their toes as well, because there's lots of quality in terms of the younger boys at the club. So it's just a shame that what happened the way the season panned out, just as we were starting to hit a bit of form.
Yes, indeed, and the run has been phenomenal. The early days of the season, the home form was good, but just couldn't seem to get that wee bit of rub of the green when you were away from home.
Yeah, that's right. And I think early on as well, we were short of bodies earlier on the season. Well, we had loads of players playing effectively out of position and filling in while the gaffer and his staff were working hard behind the scenes to try and get adequate cover in for the squad. And it was always going to take time as well, because the manager has a way that he wants to play, and that takes time to get it across to the players also. Obviously, we started off with the League Cup and we managed to get through the group stages. You said our home form was decent as well, but it was getting more and more frustrating, the games that were going on, trying to pick up the points away from home.
I put it to the manager a couple of weeks ago that a crucial game, what I felt was a turning point in the season, was going up to Brora Rangers in the Cup and getting a result. Yeah,
you could be right. Obviously, there was the cup ties. I always say it, that they're horrible for the bigger team, because you can't win either way. You're expected to go out and knock in 4 or 5 goals, and then if you only win by 1 or 2, or in our case you draw the game, you get slaughtered for it. And we weren't good enough in the home game. Brora came down and they were decent, but we went up there. We had determination to get the job done, because you know how important it is financially for the club as well to advance in the cup round. So that was a good professional performance that night, and it really set us up for the second part of the season.
Even at St Johnstone, when you look at the 3-0 scoreline, it doesn't tell you what the game was like. I felt Morton dominated that game and were really unlucky not to get something out of it.
Yeah, I think if you look back over the 2 games we played against the Premier League teams, even Hibs in the League Cup as well, it maybe took us 20 minutes to get going, but we had a period in the middle part of that game where we more than held our own, and obviously taking it to extra time, we just ran out of steam a wee bit in the extra time. But obviously we were a bit further down the line when we played St Johnstone, and although we conceded an early goal in the game, we reacted brilliantly from that early goal, and there was a few kind of ricochets about the box. We were unfortunate not to get ourselves level in the game, and ultimately St Johnstone killed the game off late on. But I think it just showed the development in how far we had progressed as a squad.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was a particular period of the season that Morton were going on this run. I think it was 9 out of 10 undefeated, and even the undefeated was a really, really late goal against Inverness.
Yeah, that's right. That was also a frustrating night because we showed probably what we were all about. You know, going behind in the game a couple of times and responding brilliantly. It's never nice going up there. Never mind on a Saturday, but in a midweek game as well, it's always tough. But we showed character that night, and we were unfortunate. It took an injury time winner for them. You know, but I say previous to that, we were off the back of some magnificent results. Obviously, down at Ayr United, picked up a fantastic result down there as well.
I mean, that is the kind of run that Dundee United were on, and they were at the top of the division. Did you feel the playoffs were a real opportunity for the club?
Yeah, no, that's ultimately where you want to aim. We've probably had one of the lower kind of budgets in the league, you know, as well, and the gaffer had recruited really well. He had obviously added a few faces in January as well, and that kind of winning undefeated kind of habit amongst a squad is exactly the same as having the other effect when you're losing all the time. But when you're on a run like that, you know, you go out on a Saturday and feel, regardless who you're going to be up against here, you know, you're going to take something from the game. And you just felt within the squad, you know, that confidence was there, regardless whether it was Dundee United or whoever we were going to go and play. We felt we could go and compete and take points from the games.
You chipped in with some pretty important goals this season, of course, but do you have a particular personal highlight of the season?
It's hard to think back. Probably the Queen of the South game. I would say, you know, going down to Palmerston, they could have put real pressure on us and sucked us right back in if they had taken the points for the game. Conditions were horrific, probably the worst conditions that I've played in all my years playing football. And to go down there and win by 4 goals and to play the type of football we did in the conditions was different class. And I'd probably say along the season that's a particular highlight.
So frustrating for you, though, wasn't it? I mean, there were games coming up, really exciting games like Inverness at home, Dundee United at home, and we've obviously had to call a halt to the season, and quite rightly so. Yeah,
listen, it's been well documented. There's obviously a lot more important things in football, and what's going on just now in the world is certainly more important. But like you say, you know, we were gearing ourselves up for one final push, going into that kind of final quarter of the season with the carrot of the playoffs in our sight. You know, obviously on the back of a right good run of results. And listen, we would certainly have fancied our chances of pushing our way into the playoffs.
We were talking to Nicky Cadden last week because obviously he got the Player of the Year award, and he was saying how much he now suddenly appreciates what football gives him and how much he enjoys playing the game because he's been forced to do nothing.
Yeah, I know it's tough. Like obviously you get into your daily routine, you know, going into training, working hard in different things, and then you're confined to going out and exercising for 1 hour a day. I think you'll see a real hunger and desire when the football starts up again. You know, from everyone, and like you said, or like Cads had said previously, you know, you will really appreciate what you've got when we finally get back to doing what we do.
Well, let's look at that then. Let's look ahead to next season and the campaign ahead. What do you think the realistic aspirations are for Morton?
I think you always look for progression. Obviously, it's frustrating that this season never finished effectively, so you don't know where you would have finished in the league. Obviously, the previous season we finished 5th. And personally, from a personal point of view, you're always looking to move on from that and better that, and there's no reason to say why we couldn't have. So I think it's most important, obviously, with the managers now got his foundations in at the club and different things, and players understand what he wants. I think it's hugely important that we look to progress and look to be one of the teams that sits up near the top of the league, maybe like Ayr United have done for the last couple of seasons. So we've got to really start, hopefully, aiming for the playoffs. I would say hopefully the manager gets backed over the summer, and we can strengthen the squad that we had last year.
And Jim, you've been around the scene, if you don't mind me saying so. You've played with some big clubs, big games, divisions, etc., etc. Where do you rate captaining Morton?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a highlight in my career. There's no doubt about it. I've said it before when Ray said to me last pre-season that he was going to make us captain. It was certainly a proud moment. I've always said I'm forever grateful for Morton giving me the opportunity at the start of my career, to play full-time professional football, and I've said all through the years that I really, really appreciate that, and obviously to come back in return for a second spell and try and give something back to the club, and to be given the captain's armband and that responsibility is certainly up there, yeah.
And the support really got behind you in that respect, didn't it? You've a popular choice to be captain. Yeah,
listen, he could have gave it to any one of the senior players at the start of last season. Obviously, Chris Miller as well's had a top career, vast amount of games under his belt and loads of experience. The players like Bob McHugh about the place too. So no, it's nice. Listen, you just want the best for the club, effectively. Having played the amount of games I've played, you do have an affiliation with certain people about the place, be it supporters or staff or different things. So if you can repay them in any way, then that's good.
Which we'd better let you go, because I'd imagine it's coming round to feeding time and you need to get out of bed to do that.
No, I'll be kidding on. I've been talking to you for a further 20 minutes after this. I'll be having some time for myself with the switches.
Well, we can talk for another hour if you want. That keeps you away from the family.
I wouldn't mind, aye.
Well, Jim, listen, congratulations once again on your newborn, of course. And thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you. No, it's been a pleasure.
And thank you for joining us on the Greenock Morton Weekly Update, as sponsored by McTears, the auctioneers.